Hello. I came out to the garage earlier and I wanted to progress the inner sill job. I've ground down all the plug welds and I've cut a strip of metal which already had a 90-degree bend in it. I've drilled it and plug welded it to the inner sill. I used a shrinker and stretcher here, shrinker there, stretcher there, to give me this shape to match that slope on the floor there. Well, kind of match it. And I have started welding in down there. Unfortunately, this piece is quite badly kind of pitted, so I've found myself burning through. It's rather awkward to get a decent angle for the welding along there, you know, leaning into the footwell there. But I'll let it all cool down and I'll have another go, and I'll try using filler wire like I did on some parts of the back panel. So this little piece here, I mean, it's quite solidly attached. I could just cap this. No, not that one. I could just cap this if I delete the jacking point, but there's a little bit of damage on the member there. But I think I've got to sort of say to myself, you can't do 100% restoration on this car. You can just fix the worst of the things to a reasonable degree, and if I or somebody else wants to take it to the next level, that could come later. But there are much better cars than this around that could be bought if you wanted a really nice one. This isn't a really nice one. It's, you know, very badly deteriorated. But yeah, so I'm not happy with this welding. Really, I should have had a wider piece of metal to weld in, but I've got quite a few of these because these are what I've cut off the edge of the shelf units that I've been using for sheet metal, you know, like these sheets here. So yeah, it was advantageous to use a piece that size. I was just debating whether I could weld this piece in. I think I might do. My problem here is that this box section is very poor, and I'm struggling to think how I can kind of weld to it. But basically I've got to reinstate a box section. It runs from here out to the inner sill. I thought it would be useful to have this in place because the box section, the top hat, can be welded to this. You know, you're not hovering in mid-air. Righto, I'm not sure what I'm going to do next because I've got a little job that I need to do for somebody. So, but I'll bring you back as always when there's more to show. I've welded that there. I've touched in the welding up there. Just licked it with a grinder. It's rather awkward actually, the access up there, so I haven't gone too mad. Just took the bigger lumps off. I can't really do anything there yet because I need to look at the box section underneath. This one here can be blanked off. I've just got to decide the best way that I want to do it. There's a hole just under there, so it might be worth me cutting this up here like that, and then just get this back down to the flange and weld, and maybe repair the piece where the hole is, and then kind of, you know, make good, and then finish it off. So I think I'll do that first of all. I'll take a bit of this metal away, cut along the middle of the box section, and there, and address the box section, and then get this piece good, and then look at this box section under here. Okay, back in a bit. That's that area where there was a hole, so I cut it away, and the flange was sort of compromised along the top here, so I've cut away the side of the box, just cut a simple piece, cut the side of the box away to where the metal was reasonable, and welded that piece in, just welded it in from the outside. You know, it's kind of the best you can do on a job like this. Okay, so what that means now is that I can cut a piece of metal that will probably slip under there, then come along here, out, and have a return edge on here, upwards. I think this bit here might be a little bit high, but it's not hypercritical, and I don't fancy trying to pardon me, I don't fancy trying to rectify it. So there's a piece needed there. I've got a piece on the floor, but I don't think it's big enough. Actually, if I did the same as I've done here with, you know, just an angle piece, that might actually be doable using that piece there. Okay, I'll bring you back when I've done a bit more. Cheers then, bye. Hello, right. I've been hacking away at this job here. That's that piece of metal that I had. It doesn't quite fit, but I'm aware that it's quite late in the evening now. I need to do a little bit of grinding, so I'll leave this till tomorrow now. But it's kind of fitting, and I've cut this piece here and plug welded that on there. That can be welded there and there. This can be fitted and welded all the way around. It's a little bit thick there, the metal, but I'll just have to do what I can. And it can be plug welded to the along there, but welded all here. A little bit needs to be let in there, but you know, by and large it's not too bad. Okay, so today's job has been to weld this piece all the way along. Oh, well, I had another go at welding that. I used the filler rod and it's kind of come out okay. I've ground it, I've ground all the plug welds, I've put this piece in, I've put that piece in, which isn't too bad, and I've started shaping this piece. If you were just putting stuff on top and just tacking it on, it would be okay, but you know, that might be the best way to do it. But yeah, it's I want to get it plug welded along there, you see, so it needs to go down a little bit. I decided to do this piece and this piece separately because it's difficult to kind of get two lots of folds correct when you haven't really got a, you know, a good folding machine and things like that. I've got access to one, but I haven't got one here. The thing about this is that the jacking point has been eliminated, so that is one less rust you know, propagator to deal with. Okay, good little bit of progress today. Quite time consuming, to be honest. Very noisy, very noisy. I've been wearing ear defenders all day. Okay, I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Hello. I've got this piece kind of ready to weld in. I'll just put a bit of that paint there. I was trying to grind a bit there and I managed to nick this here, so I've just had to weld that. So this will slip under there. It'll go like, kind of like that ish. That'll come down here and just come flush with that. So what I'm going to do is just, where it's close, I'll get a weld in, like here. I'll get a weld there, and then I'll weld along this edge, and then I'll weld along there, and then I'll plug weld along there. Yeah, I should be able to do that. In other words, weld it where it touches and then bend something to make the rest of it touch. Okay, here's my latest effort. Got a decent bead running over here. Plug welds came out okay. The welds aren't too bad generally, and they tend to reflect the sort of, you know, soundness of the material I'm welding to. I mean, that is, you can see that's got a little hole there, so generally okay. I'm quite pleased with that. What it is, it's kind of low, it's kind of sunk, but I've got to put a little piece in there, and I'm struggling to bump that piece up because there's a big bead of weld on it, so I might just sort of cut a little triangle like that and put a little triangle there just to finish it off. And once I've ground all these bits of weld off here, which was from the previous patch, you know, it'll look a lot better, and you know, I'll take the lumps off. So yeah, that's not too bad. I don't think that's too bad. Okay, righto. So 2 little mini patches then, and yeah, that bit will be done. Bit of grinding, splash of paint, job done. Okay, let's have a look underneath, just out of interest. Okay, not too bad, not too bad, not too bad. I see a couple of little voids, but that's old repair. Okay, you know, I'm just trying to repair this car, don't forget, just trying to repair it, fix the worst things to make it so it's safe to drive. I'll bring you back when I've filled in those little bits. Hello, a little bit later, and I've put plenty of weld down, that's for sure. So I thought I'd just show you it before I try and you know, grind some of it away. Yeah, it's okay, isn't it? At least it's 100% welded and not just tacked here and there. I've used a lot of gas though. I've used this bottle in the last about 3 or 4 days. So there's quite a considerable cost when you start totting it all up. Not to mention, you know, electricity prices are expensive, but what are you going to do? You wouldn't do anything, would you, if you started worrying too much? Okay, let's get this ground up then, and then I think I'll call it good for now, because that's getting this piece in and that piece in and all that lot there has been quite a lot of work, to be honest. Okay, righto, I'll have a quick, I'll grind it up and I'll give it a splash of paint and leave it at that. I think I'm not sure I've actually welded to this metal here, but it's kind of tuck a bit. There's a hole there. Can't have everything, eh? Okay, not too bad. Back in a bit. Okay, there's my patch. Just going to put a bit of paint on it. The brush has gone a bit stiff actually. It'll soften up once it gets some paint on it. I won't do that bit there. I'll give it a go over with a wire wheel first. But that's alright, I think. It's quite a vivid colour, isn't it? I'm sure there's some more I could do, but I'll leave it at that for now. And when I feel in the mood for doing a bit more, I'll have a go at this part here. Hello. I've been doing a fair bit of work today, and I haven't done any recording, so I think, oh blimey, better get the camera out. What I've done, I've kind of done an exploratory cut into this box section that ran here and into the floor area there where it was damaged, and I've made up a replacement box section. Hopefully this will fit inside here, and I can weld around on the inside of the box. There's the box there. It's not quite too bad at that point. This has been folded up, and I've been using my press as like a folding brake, and it's been working quite well. If I do another one similar, I'll show you how I've been using it. But this does go in. I've had it in and took it out because I put it in, I've took it out, and I've just trimmed these flanges a bit. So these are all trimmed. So hopefully I should be able to put this in again, and I can start off by putting a couple of plug welds in there. I've drilled a couple of holes there for plug welds. So let's get this in place and see if we can get it welded in. And then these can be folded back down and welded, and then a couple of patches put in. I've just cut these and bent them up because they've got pressing shapes formed into them. I'll show you what they look like when I've finished it. Okay, righto. I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Hello, I've got that piece in place. Got a decent weld across the bottom, a decent weld all along there, and just you know, a couple of the best I could along there, a little bit there. I'm not going to worry too much about welding on the outside because all of the joining has been done on the inside. I'll probably just maybe get underneath and put a couple of little buzzies on, but they're purely academic. And I've got a couple of decent plug welds there. So what I think I'll do is I'll put a bit of paint on it, and you know, to protect it, and then I'll look at cutting a piece. I'll look at folding these two pieces back down, welding them in, and you know, then finishing off the patches. Patchy patch. The patchy 100E. Okay, let's get a little bit of paint in there then. Okay, back in a bit. Okay, I put a splash of paint on it, and I put a bit of paint on these pieces because these will be, you know, underneath when they're folded back down again. So I'll fold those back down, and I don't think this one will meet there, but I'll see what I need to do to, I think I can fold that one down, more or less. Okay, let's get those back down then and see what we're looking at. But it's not looking too bad. I put a big blob of weld down there, welding that piece to the inner sill, and I burnt through in one place and I had to fill it up with weld. Oh well. So let's get this pushed back down again and see what we're dealing with. But I'm quite happy with that. It looks pretty strong, to be honest. Not sure it's 100% in line with where it's supposed to be, but hey, who's counting? Righto, back in a bit. Hello. Right, as you can see, I've folded those two pieces back down and got them welded in. So what I need to do now is place the remaining metal in place, which I imagine will take the form of two patches, a square one and then that one up there with the corner chopped off. Both of which will be plug welded. And I can probably just do a little run out of that, try and get a little bit of a run out of that shape into the last little bit of it there. What I need to know is, does this piece have a drain hole in it? I don't suppose it would hurt to put a hole in it there, would it? That'd probably be a good idea. I think I can put a hole from the sill into it so it can vent, because it can vent into the sill, and then the sill has vents here, although they'd normally be covered up with sound deadening carpet. I don't know, you know what I mean? I'm kind of just not exactly making it up as I go along, but well, I am making it up as I go along, I suppose. Yeah, I am making it up as I go along, yeah, definitely. Okay, jolly good. It's good to kind of stop sometimes though and get up, straighten your back up, you know, have a little walk about, because you know, when you start getting a bit older, it's not quite so easy as it used to be. I've got to, can you see that one there? That's one of the seat mounting bolts. Now this, the previous owner of this car had the seat goes with like a humpback bridge shaped strap that goes there, and he'd got it mounted here. I say he, could have been a lady, but I'm guessing it was probably a bloke, because it was obviously somebody who was very tall. And this nut, the other nut, has to go somewhere here in the region of this flange. If I'd have thought about it, I'd have probably left extra metal on the flange there, but you know, I didn't think about it, so hey. So this rise here is like for the seat to sit on. Yeah, so if that goes like that, the other one is right in the middle of that flange, so there's no reason for me to worry about that now. I can just drill a hole in there, and I'll have to use a nut and a bolt. But yeah, it's looking good, I think. It's looking good. Okay. Righto. As always, I'll bring you back when there's more to show. There's the first little patch cut out, fitted in, little gap all the way around, hopefully, yeah. And a little bit tight here actually, I might push it to the right a little bit. Plug weld holes drilled and spot face through with the end mill. So I'll weld the plug welds first, and then I'll look at the welding. Hello. I came back out. I can't remember exactly what I showed you at the last end of the last little clip, but I folded those pieces down, made this piece, welded it in. That's right, and I ran out of gas right at the end. But I've come out later on the evening, and I've made that piece, welded it in, and welded all around. So it's all welded all the way around, and the only bit that isn't welded is that there, which I might just leave as a, you know, a drain, a natural drain in case any water gets in the footwell. I kind of maybe goofed a little bit, because I've put the spot weld right where the bolt hole wants to be, but it'll have a bolt through it, so it'll be held together by that anyway. Yeah, I think that's not looking too bad. And if you can, I can't do it now because it's too late in the evening, but I can grind all these welds down again, like these, you know, not going mad. Just take the lumps off, and I think it'll look okay. I might just heat this up and tap it down, and then just put a little bit of weld there. Just you know what I mean? It's the devil you do and the devil you don't, innit? I've been experimenting with my welding, and I'm doing quite well. And once I've got it better, I will try and share some of the little things that I've learned. I chased a hole there, right the way up there. Not brilliant, but you know, it's okay. But that is, you know, 100% welded now. New box section underneath, running all the way from the outer sill to there. Yeah, that's okay, I think. It's a little bit late now to do hammering and grinding. It's okay just here welding, but not hammering, grinding and, you know, cutting metal out with the cutting disc. Okay, right, a good bit of progress there. Quite a lot of work, you know, when you consider. I mean, I haven't even done that side yet, but you know, I've done all the way across the back, all the way through there, all the way along there with the inner sill, all the way across there, and then all the way along here and forward to there. That's a lot of welding. And do you know, there's still lots of things I haven't done. There's an area there to address, there's an area down there to address, there's an area there to address, and I know that there's something up here as well that I've seen, something there, yeah, there, somewhere there is got a hole in it as well, and you can see down there there's a hole. And these I'm going to do something here, but I'm not sure yet, because I'm not sure quite what yet, because the sill has to fit here. You know, I can use that to my advantage, that I've got access to the sill along there. Okay, righto. That is quite a lot of progress, and that doesn't look too bad, that little patchwork quilt. I'm going to grind that and paint it, and then think about what I want to do next. Hello. I've tapped that bit down there and welded it. I can see a tiny pinhole there, but I'm not going to worry about that. And there, actually. You know, you got to stop at some point. I've kind of haven't gone all the way there, but I've cleaned this area, so I was thinking I would just put some paint along this area here. That bit there, you know, you wouldn't think that had been taken up and peeled back. I mean, you can see a hint of it there. I'm not trying to hide anything, but that worked quite well. You can see the indentation there that I wanted to preserve. There's a little hole there. Don't quite know how I missed that, because it was outside of my welded area, I suppose. I'll have to have a go at welding that. I put a little bit of weld there and just touched it in with the paintbrush. The rest of the paint hasn't even dried properly. But yeah, that looks alright. That'll do. I think I must have kind of welded it. I think I must have welded it, and then when I ground it and then went in with the sanding disc, it took the weld away, and the weld was high. That bit don't look too bad where I just blended it out. Got a little pinhole there. A little pinhole there. I think that's more or less to be expected though on a car of this age. Okay, righto. Got a lot of tidying up to do. I'll wait till the paint's dry before I start disturbing all the dirt. Righto. Jolly good. Hello. I'm still just doing the final little titivation jobs in this area. I drilled, I took this and had to hammer it down a little bit to make sure it was just on the right pitch to match all the other holes, all 3 locations, one there, and one there. And then I bolted it on there and drilled through, and it came through just right, to be honest. It came through just right there in the flange. I've come underneath and I put a weld there, weld in inverted commas there. That's the weld from the inside, and this is just a mess where I tried to put a little bit on there, but this again is welded across the inside, so I'm not going to worry too much. I'll just grind the lumps off and clean it up, give it a coat of paint. I don't like grinding under the car though, and I need to grind all this, or at least make sure there's no big lumps like that, and I can give that a little bit of paint as well, much like in that area back there, which doesn't look too bad really. This can get scraped. That's where the seat was bolted through there. Those can be filled or at least blanked. That's the brake pipe. So there's a hole there. I'm just going to leave it. I've squeezed the metal all round and it's not crumbling away. Okay, you know, I wouldn't like to say it'd hold up a battleship, but it's not crumbling away. That could be attended if a further round of proper restoration work was taken on, rather than just fixing the worst. You can see that this bit here is a bit compromised as well, but I think that's okay, just to make it safe to drive on the road. I was wondering about putting like a captive nut on here, but I think it's just too much effort to achieve very little, you know. Just a nut and a trimmed down washer will do fine just there. Okay, right then, it's not looking too bad. Oh yeah, I came and spot welded here, you know, that area there, because I knew I'd just make a mess if I tried to weld it with the MIG, so I just spot welded it, you know, which is what they would have done at the factory. I might come here with one of those step drills and put a big hole there to allow this to breathe, and I might come here with a drill as well to create a drain hole, like, you know, similar to that one there, which is all clogged up. Okay, righto. I think I'm more or less exhausted what I can do on this side for now. Haven't yet decided how to do the sill. It'll probably be worth me just taking a break before I do any more. Been working a lot lately. Okay, so here's my job, the latest part of the job, and that's all looking fine. Okay, righto, let's just give the parting shot with the, you know, more of the full vehicle in it. So now that I've done that, I want to consider what is the next worst area, because what I need to do is keep concentrating on the worst bits. Once I've done the worst bits, and I am gaining really good, I can feel that my welding skills and everything is improving, so I am gaining experience, especially with the welding. So some of these areas at the front I think might be the next bits to get looked at. and then I'll go around a second round and I'll do the wing and I'll do the sill and all that stuff. Okay, it's a lot of work, isn't it? But I feel like I'm enjoying it. I enjoy doing the welding, I enjoy doing the fabrication of the parts. It's coming together, and as I'm moving further on, I think I'm improving just a little bit every time. So I'm enjoying the jobs. I'm enjoying doing the work on the car. It's just an old car, but I'm enjoying working on it. And I hope you're enjoying coming along on this journey with me. It will take a long time before the car's even able to be driven. But it's a journey, isn't it? It isn't always the destination, it's a journey. I hope you're enjoying it. I want to say thank you very much to all the new subscribers who've joined on the strength of this project. I've been really blown away by the interest that it's created. I want to say thank you to my old subscribers that have embraced the complete change in direction from old 30s jobs to and hot rods. You know, this is one of my hot rod here, my 32 sedan, which is unfinished. You know, so to those subscribers that have jumped from this sort of thing to this sort of thing and appear to be enjoying the journey as well. So thank you very much to my old subscribers. Thank you very much to my new subscribers, and welcome to the channel. Have a dig around. There's a lot there. Okay, I'm waffling now. So thank you very much for joining me in the garage. Take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then. Bye.